to his commandments. So what he tells us is unacceptable, we refrain from. What he says is acceptable, we then pursue. Because God is the overall founder of objective morality. He decides what is morally acceptable and unacceptable, and what is the commands. It makes perfect sense because you very observantly pointed out that it needs a manual. So if there's a creator, he will need a manual, or he will need an instruction on how to lead one's life. And then we will be accountable for our actions when we are resurrected.
So let me ask you now, if I didn't have the possession of the manual, I would not be
under the same type of rigorous questioning.
No, I mean like I'm not aware of it. You are.
So let me explain.
End,
So
it was something that I did without me being aware of it. And you, for instance, if you know and you do it, a bad thing.
Yeah.
So you probably it's much worse.
Worse. Well said. You're very analytical. I'm very pleased with that. You've analysed this very, very quickly. So, for example, if you never heard the message of Islam, then there may be some actions that you do in this world which you will acknowledge in your heart. There can only, for example, you acknowledge that there is one God, but you're not sure about which path to go according to what belief. But what we will say to you is, don't worry, you won't be on the film, okay? It will be blotted out. So what we say to you is, therefore, you come close to God by His commands. That's the number one point I'll try to address. So the manual is your guide to life. Islam claims to have the very best guide to life. The repetitive prayers you're doing on the daily basis will keep you close to God. We bow, then we kneel in prostration. Then what do we do? Then I've explained the other things. We fast, then we give charity. Then once in our lifetime we go for the pilgrimage to Mecca, and then we testify there's only one God, the prophets are the messengers of God. Then we lead an honest life. We do good works, we give charity, we help the poor, we help the needy. We do things which are pleasing to God. We don't lie, we don't cheat, we don't do things which are going to displease God. And we make sure of that.
You cannot generalize this, please, because everyone has their awareness.
Yeah.
Okay, you may say that, but you cannot talk in the name of all people.
No, I'm not speaking. I'm not.
Like we don't do this, we don't do this.
No, what I'm saying to you, if you do something from ignorance or not knowing, then that's a different thing altogether. I'm not casting anyone on that. But in terms of your question about what happens in there, so for you or someone who's not familiar with the tenets of Islam, there will be a test for you on the Day of Judgment. God will give you a test as well.
Probably it will be a test where I was born, maybe because I was born in a Christian country, so probably I will be tested based on what they were.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm free of be judged.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be incumbent upon you to think one day, if you're sitting at home by yourself, having a cup of tea, just thinking about everything, and then one day a thought might come into your head, that God, he must be so magnificent. He can't be like his creation. He can't be a man. It doesn't make no sense. So if a Christian to believe that Jesus...
I ask you, many times I'm sitting and okay, we're talking so much about God, but we feel it less in our heart. Like we choose a big word to describe God, but we lose to find Him in our heart, to be better, to be more like, I don't know, how indeed God wants us to be.
See, what you said is very interesting, because that is what God is expecting of you. So to fulfill all these actions and now have no spiritual connection with God and continue doing things which are unacceptable to God, then it defeats the object of you praying or fasting, or it defeats the object. You must learn from those actions to better yourself. So that is God. Even God does not need your hunger. He doesn't need it. God does it for your betterment. Reflect. So when we're fasting, you're hungry or thirsty, you're remembering others. Secondly, you are invoking to yourself that I've got to better myself. It's not good just me fasting and I've done a great deed. No, you've got to see what comes out as a result of fasting. It's a spiritual connection to God who wants you then to fulfill yourself by becoming a better person in every way which I've described to you. And hence, this is why Islam is the most conclusive way of living to mankind, you see, because it inculcates all those points I made to you.
I have lots of friends who are Muslim.
Do you have a Quran in English? Can I give you a Quran free of charge?
How? No,
Oh, great, just one there. We've got hundreds, free Qurans there.
well, if it's free of charge.
Yeah, of course, let me give it to you. Just give me 2 seconds. Oh, just like hey, Madam, that's a little gift for you. That's a Quran, some literature there for you to read through. See what time, if you get the opportunity to do so, and I'm sure you'll find it very beneficial. But this is the guide for mankind. This, okay, and it makes sense because you know what you believe intrinsically about God. The very best concept of God is given to in Islam because he's not like his creation. So he's not a man, he's not a woman, he's not an idol
No, I'm
or a
not attached to that idea.
fantastic, which will therefore lead me to believe that upon examining Islam sincerely, by the will of God, you will come to this religion. Many people are coming, particularly from people of your area of the world in Eastern Europe. Regularly meeting many people. It shocks me. I offer a leaflet. Oh, thank you, I'm already Muslim. A blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl who is Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's going. You don't have to, yeah. But Allah guides. Allah's not going to leave you just because I'm born a Muslim. Doesn't make me better than you. You understand? What happens then is Allah's going to observe me, and then He will pick people to come into His religion.
So that's, I will say, not by coincidence I met you.
Pardon?
Not but by a coincidence I met
Precisely. No coincidence. Because you know, in our daily life, we're always rushing here, there, because of the business of life. But time for reflection is the sensible individual, because our reality is we will perish one day. And that is something which you need to consider, we all rather need to consider deeply. Hence, have a good read. We're here regularly,
Thank you.
2 to 7. So go to your friend, she's waiting for you. Delighted to speak to you. Thank you. All the best to you. Take care. Ahi, take these ones, please.